It's one of those beautifully crisp autumn mornings this morning, so sit back, get yourselves ready, and let's get to work. Hello and welcome back. I'm Will, and this channel is all about my allotment journey. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we've got some good news to start with. If you remember last week, we planted some garlic and some onion sets, and thankfully only one has been dug up, so the birds didn't manage to get to them, and they've stayed in the ground, which is a good start. They've been in there for a week, so hopefully in the next few months they'll begin to take root. What's the plan for today? So been busy working on this bed at the back. A few episodes back I talked about putting in a slightly longer raised bed, and then hopefully next year thinking about growing some corn or sunflowers in there. So I've been busy sawing some wood, measuring the sides out, and then screwing that all together. The plan for that bed over the winter is to grow some green manure. So I've got a packet of green manure seeds, and I'm going to put them in that bed and hopefully see them thrive through the winter and into autumn next year when they get dug into the bed. If you're wondering why the frame is being held up by rocks, I forgot to bring my screwdriver with me, so it's just going to have to hold like that for now, and then when I come back next time I will put the screws in and it should hopefully be a lot firmer than it is now. But I want to get this green manure in, so I'm just going to start by digging this over, trying to get rid of as many of the weeds that are currently in here. There's been a lot of grass growing on the plot at the moment, so I think the more of that I can turn over and try and get rid of, the better. Rake this over, get rid of these last few bits of weed and grass. This is looking much better. Ready for planting. For my green manure, I'm going to be using these field beans. You get quite a good sized packet. Basically, look like these, just your normal sort of beans. The instructions recommend sowing these fairly thinly. And then just digging them into the soil. It's supposed to be around 7 centimetres deep. I'm just going to go through and turn the soil over. Just make sure they're all nicely buried in the ground. So there are a few theories behind green manure, but it's supposed to draw more nitrogen out of the soil through the winter and into the spring. It's also supposed to suppress the weeds that are growing, so hopefully it's going to do that, because I imagine quite a lot of weeds will sprout up through there. And then come the spring, you just dig it all over, leave it to die down, and then late spring you're ready to plant your crops in there. It also is designed to break down the soil a bit more, so we've got quite clay, clumpy soil. It should hopefully help with that. That's the idea anyway. It's all a bit of an experiment, so let's see what happens. Need to start thinking about clearing the bed at the front here. Things are beginning to come to an end, although, as I said last time, the Swiss chard seems to be going on, and so does the spinach, but the spring onions are certainly almost done with now, so I think I'm going to pull the last of them today, take them home with me, and then maybe leave the spinach and Swiss chard for now, and see how that goes, maybe till the end of October, and then think about pulling it out of the ground in November. There's also the beans in there, which I'm not sure if these beans are going to be dry enough yet. No, they still feel a bit squidgy. I might open one of these up actually and see what they're looking like now. They're certainly they look much more like a proper bean now. I might actually take that one home, try and cook with that. These have actually gone really squidgy. I don't think these are going to be edible anymore. I'm going to pull out some of these. Some of the smaller ones feel alright, but the bigger ones have unfortunately come to an end. I'm going to pick a few more of these beans because I think these are good now, and if they aren't then I'll just take them home and let them dry off, and then I can use them as seeds for next year. That one's gone a little bit mouldy. These ones are all looking quite good. I'm pleased with how the rhubarb's going, although it seems to have quite a few weeds in the bed. At least it is doing quite well. It's looking really healthy, so it's obviously taken, which is good after the dry spell when it was put in the ground, but it certainly looks a lot better now. So fingers crossed, next year, going to get, well, I don't think you're supposed to harvest it for the first year, but next year we should certainly begin to see some good rhubarb growing. A few weeks back now we planted the purple sprouting broccoli and some onions. Unfortunately, looks like these have been got by slugs yet again. Well, that's the 2 broccoli. They're not looking too bad. We've got two more broccoli there. And we've got some onions there. I might actually take these home where I can look after them a bit better, because here they're just getting eaten by the slugs. Those 2 have completely disappeared. I'm going to bury this white onion back in the ground. There's one there that's been dug up a little bit as well. Let's cover that one back over. Thank you again so much for joining, and I'll catch you again next week.